Aaron, great color sets here. I've checked everything and the RGB values are right everywhere. Um, I like that bottom right set in assignment two, sort of raspberry. And among all of those that were received for assignment three, yours has really the most striking color set. And there is a little problem with this version with the template. It appears the template has begun to fall apart. Notice that the right hand center swatches are smaller in size. Well, Kendall, your colors look like they come from a candy box. They're really beautiful. There are some arresting color sets in assignment two. For instance, I like the top right set. With the top left, there's a problem. Those interior swatches don't match exactly. And while you have a very good project for assignment three, there's also a color mismatch in the light blues on the left side of the right set. Danielle, this is very neat work. Everything that's meant to match does. Now, let's see. Assignment two looks good. There's a definite color shift going on in each of those sets. I like the right side of assignment three too. Let's look at the left side. Well, it seems like there is a saturation issue. The swatch and center on left seems saturated. In fact, given the background, it looks more saturated than it does without that shade of magenta red. So, if you want to have the color look desaturated, put it on a ground that is relatively saturated. I think that's something you could toy with. John, excellent work this week. Looking at your assignment two, my favorite set there is bottom left. Now, assignment three, this is a really good example. I wonder how you could tweak it though to make it even more of what we want. Looking at the left side, on left, that center swatch is looking dull, and maybe its background is saturated, and that is the reason for that. Now, on the right side, if we look to the right side center swatch, that one looks a little dark. So if you wanted to let it appear lighter, let the ground be darker. Nina, beautiful color sets here for assignment two. I'm quite astonished by what you were able to do in the bottom right, for example. Now, with the top right and bottom left, there are color mismatches. The two swatches ought to be identical. And I think even, when there's a slight mismatch, you can see how that sort of foils the project. Vicky, colors-wise, you've had success with assignment two. However, the template seems to be falling apart, or perhaps you have a resolution problem, making this work a little shy of being portfolio quality. I want you to take a look at the announcement in class called something like computers, software, and image preparation. Look to the bottom of that, the image preparation portion. We want to be sure you have control over how your images look. Now, with assignment three, you are on the right track. I can see what you're up to, particularly with the right side set. With the left side set, consider just using white and black, for example. In both of these, you've got the same hue in your center swatch sets, just different values. And I'd say you could move the values of the swatches a little closer together for greater success. Angie, your assignment two looks lovely. I like the bottom left set particularly. Now, with assignment three, well, you're on the right track. I can see what you're doing in a variety of instances. My view is that on the right sides of both sets, you want the center swatch to look more yellow or orange, in which case the backdrop color can be orange's complement, which is a blue according to the digital color wheel. Well, hi, Vicky. I think you're getting something of the desired effect with your assignment too. You've got a camouflage matter going on here in three of these sets, top, left, and bottom right. In those, there is a swatch that sits on a ground of the same value and similar saturation, and so it sort of gets swallowed up. Let's see. Now, with assignment 3, well, on the right side of the left set, you want that swatch to look more saturated. It starts out being dull. So use a color that is less saturated than it as your backdrop. Additionally, those swatches are looking pretty similar here on my monitor. It would be better if they were more different. Now, on the right side, I think you've got something going on. I would say that maybe on the right side of that, your value is a little dark for the backdrop, making the swatch look perhaps too light. Megan, this is a great example of assignment 2. Golly, it's hard to select, but I'd say my favorite set is the top left. Catherine, assignment 2 looks good and all the colors check out as okay. Maybe the set that catches my eye more than any of the rest is the top right. Now, looking at assignment 3, well, I like that right side set. Very nice work there. With the left side, well, I'm thinking about that yellow backdrop on right. And because it's so saturated, it's desaturating the swatch a bit. I think in that case, you'd probably want to use a tint or a tone, some less saturated version of yellow. On the left, it seems if you're using green, you're trying to remove magenta from the center swatch. And I think what you want to take away is blue. Well, Derek, I can see you've got the layout right for assignment 2. It looks as though you couldn't get the template to work for you, and using the template's not required. However, we do want to control all the variables, which is to say that the swatches should be small and centered in the backdrops. They should be in the same place in the center of each of the backdrops. That lets color be the only variable. I'll also say that neutrals are less affected by this theory. So I noticed that you've got a couple of examples where beige is your center swatch color. It's a little harder to get the effect going with a neutral like a beige. You know, among these, the one that I like best of all is the top left. One other thing, eliminate stroke. I'd like you to use no stroke on work like this because that outline interferes with the interaction of color. Now, looking at your assignment 3, well, you didn't understand the directions very well there, and I'm wondering if you looked at that special lesson that I sent to you guys. Does that play okay on your computer? Do you need to download the Flash Player to view it? That's a free download. It's a very common viewing program that most computers have. Don't be wary of getting it, for example. So let's see, what went haywire with assignment 3? Well, the swatch that you see in the set needs to be replicated exactly on the bottom where we see two swatches side by side. So I'd like you to take a look at my drafts review for this assignment and look to the top where I show you a good example of student work from a past session.